So in this video I'm just going to go over the application for the Endura Solid Stain by Newlook. The application is pretty simple and straightforward, but there are one or two things you just need to watch out for when you're doing the application, especially when applying a second coat. The application is best done using the Newlook applicator brush, but it can be applied by a sprayer or even a roller on smoother surfaces. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward, so we'll get into the video now and I'll show you how to do it. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use this board which is covered in this cementitious screed. Before applying the Endura Solid Stain or any of the Newlook colours, you must ensure that the prep has been done properly. So if you haven't checked out the video on prepping for Newlook stains, please do that before continuing with this video. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you'll want to be ideally using a Newlook applicator brush. Comes in a range of sizes. This is the 8-inch, but they do a 4-inch round, the 8-inch, 10-inch and 18-inch. So there's a whole range depending on the size of the job that you're doing. What you need to do before you start, as you can see, there's a little bit of fluff on these when they come as new. So you just need to make sure that you get rid of any of those bits of fluff before starting to apply the stain. So the Newlook Solid Stain comes ready to use. I'm going to be using a sort of light brown beige colour, just so it's easy for you to see the difference on the surface. So when you open the container, you just need to make sure that you give it a good stir, as in transit the colours may have settled. So make sure you give it a really good stir up first with a clean stirring implement. In this case I'm just using a paint stirrer. So you just want to make sure that it's fully mixed, make sure that there are no pigments sat on the bottom of the can. So once you're happy that it's thoroughly mixed, you can go ahead and apply to your concrete. Now the easiest way obviously would be to use a roller bucket and pour the colour into the roller bucket, and then you can dip your brush in, but as we're only doing a small area today, I'm just going to pour it directly onto the concrete, and then just by hand just show you how easy it is to apply it using the applicator brush. So you want to work in a sort of figure 8 motion, and you're not applying any pressure, you're letting the brush and the colour and the stain do the work. Now when you're applying the first coat, obviously if you're going for a drastic colour difference, colour change, you're not always going to get full coverage in the first coat. So don't worry too much if it looks a bit patchy or uneven on the first coat, because that'll even out when you apply the second coat of the stain. Make sure you get into all your edges and any corners on the job that you may be doing. So as you can see there, fairly quickly we've covered this board. So like I said, don't worry too much if there are any little areas showing, because once it's dry and you apply a second coat, all those will blend in and disappear. Obviously if you're using a grey colour similar to the colour of the concrete, just to even it up slightly, you may well get away with just one coat, but 2 coats is generally recommended, especially when changing the colour. So now we've finished applying our first coat, we're just going to let this cure up for probably about half an hour, 40 minutes, then we'll come back to it and I'll show you the difference, what to look for to make sure that the first coat is dry. The main reason you need to ensure that the first coat is fully dry before applying the second coat is if you apply the second coat when the first coat is still wet or still damp, the second coat will just re-emulsify the first coat. So it's essentially like you're just applying another first coat. So you do need to ensure that the first coat is fully dried before applying your second coat. Okay, so like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it is important to make sure that the first coat is fully dry before applying the second coat. The way we do this is just to use a clean, damp rag, and all we're going to do is rub it on the surface. So as you can see, no colour come off there, but in an area that's still damp, you've still got the colour coming off. So you want to repeat this process in a few different areas all over the surface, and make sure that it's completely dry before applying the second coat of stain. Okay, so once you're happy that the first coat is dry, you can go ahead and apply your second coat of stain. Now obviously the second coat is going to use far less than the first, so it'll go much further. So this small amount should probably do most of the board. So again, you just need to spread it out, don't need to apply any pressure to it. You're literally just covering the whole board, or obviously the flooring that you're doing. And again, you just want to make sure that when you finish it, you just finish all with your brush strokes in the same direction to give you that nice even finish. And that's it, it's as simple as that. So again, just leave that to fully dry. If you're just doing the solid colour stain, you'd leave it for 24 hours. And for added protection, you can seal over it. We recommend using our water-based sealers to seal over it to keep the sort of eco-friendly theme running through the entire job. Or you can use the solid colour stain as a base to do some other techniques over the top. You know, create a faux acid effect look using the smart colours.